Welcome back. The government of India has been a crucial partner to Caribbean countries in the fight against COVID-19. India has made tens of thousands of free COVID-19 vaccines available to Caribbean countries. So far, the country has overall distributed 22.9 million doses under its Vaccine Friendship program. Dominica received 70,000 doses and Barbados received 100,000 doses, some of which were donated to St. Lucia. Now India is fighting a devastating second wave of COVID-19 that is killing thousands each day as the country recorded more than 1 million new cases in just 3 days. Medical facilities have been running out of oxygen and ICU beds, with patients left outside hospitals waiting for care. Some of this reporting might be upsetting. We join CNN's Anna Corin.
As smoke rises over a pile of ashes, another family huddles over the remains of their loved one. A son says farewell to his 49-year-old mother who died of COVID a day ago, while his twin brother fights for his life in hospital. Another body draped in marigolds is led into the crematorium. An assembly line of death and misery on an insurmountable scale. For a fifth consecutive day, India has set a global record for daily infections and deaths. But health experts believe the real numbers could be much higher. The acute shortage of oxygen across the country is the main killer, as hospitals already over capacity turn away patients who don't have their own oxygen cylinders and supply.
But here if somebody dies, you know he dies because of a lack of oxygen. You cannot describe that feeling, man, but you feel like crying, I tell you. You're feeling so helpless.
Unable to get an ambulance, this family takes their brother to hospital in a rickshaw, his feet protruding. But like all the others they'd visited, it has no available beds, let alone enough oxygen. I tried almost all the hospitals, he says. Everyone told me they had no oxygen supply. So I came here and they shoot us away at the gate, saying they don't have any oxygen. The wait outside excruciating, but help never comes. He shakes his brother, but it's too late. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has described the second wave as a storm that has shaken the country and announced the construction of more than 500 oxygen generation plants. But that's cold comfort for the families who feel their government has abandoned them and left them to fight this pandemic on their own. When critics say the government should have been preparing and stockpiling for the inevitable, it dropped its guard, allowing social gatherings, religious festivals and political rallies to be held. Some the Prime Minister himself attended, giving the virus the chance to spread and mutate. In the capital, New Delhi, there is more than 30% positivity rate, and half the cases by the start of this month were the more contagious variant that's afflicting younger people and has now been detected in the UK and Switzerland. For radio host Stuti Ghosh, whose father contracted COVID, she pulled him out of hospital because she feared he would die there. For every 200 patients, only one doctor was available. She bought an oxygen concentrator on the black market for an exorbitant price, allowing her father to be cared for at home. But she says if you don't have money and privilege, what hope do you have in saving your loved ones?
If, God forbid, you're in a position where you can't breathe, and you have doctors who are breaking down on social media in front of the camera saying patient will die, patients are being turned away because there is no oxygen. Who will answer this? This is a failure.
Anna Corin, CNN, Hong Kong.
That report from CNN. The U.S. recently announced it would immediately provide raw materials for Indian vaccine manufacturers as the country battles its devastating surge in cases. In a phone call with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday, President Joe Biden promised more emergency assistance, including oxygen-related supplies, vaccine materials, and therapeutics. That was according to a White House statement. This past weekend, the St. Lucia Fire Service recorded 91 ambulance responses, including the north and south of the island. According to the fire service spokesperson, 6 calls related to physical assaults and 11 motor vehicular accident calls were recorded.
On Friday, April 23rd at 4:35 p.m., emergency personnel from the Crash Fire Hall responded to a call at Clark Street in Beaufort relating to a physical assault. The responding officers found one male appearing in his 20s with a wound evisceration to his abdomen. His wound was dressed and he was provided rapid emergency transportation to the nearest medical facility. The patient was handed over to medical personnel in a stable condition. Officers at the Micoud Fire Station responded to a call relating to a stabbing incident at Deriso, Micoud on Friday, 23rd April at approximately 10:35 p.m. Emergency personnel found a male in his 20s conscious and alert, complaining of pain to his thigh. His wound was treated and he was transported to the St. Jude Hospital in a stable condition.
Joseph also disclosed that 3 fire calls were responded to. One member of the local music fraternity is expressing his hopes and beliefs that St. Lucians can experience the full Carnival 2021, albeit an altered version of the national festival. Calypsonian Lennon Blaze Prosper says the recovery rate of the island as it continues to fight through the COVID-19 pandemic is a promising sign to indicate that certain aspects of Carnival, including the Calypso and Soca events, can be allowed through proper planning.
1 year and 1 month after COVID-19 reached St. Lucian shores and turned the lives of St. Lucians upside down, just like it did to the rest of the world, the island has seen its share of highs and lows through the pandemic, first recording impressively low numbers of cases, leading the island to be named as the second safest space on Earth to ride out the pandemic, to recording worryingly high numbers, resulting in the island having the worst statistics in the Eastern Caribbean region, as numbers surpassed 4,000 and the number of deaths reached the 70s. Over the past month, the island has been recording slightly better numbers, with a dramatic drop in the number of cases recorded daily. It is with these statistics in mind that one local artist has expressed hopes that the low numbers could spell the return of the national carnival events, most of which were cancelled in 2020. Lennon Prosper, who goes by the stage name Blaze, said measures taken last year have opened the doors for artists to get back to what they do best.
Last year we were able to do the first virtual show in St. Lucia, Resilient Kaiso, in collaboration with UNESCO. We did the first virtual show in St. Lucia. So doing virtual shows is not something new to Balancing. As a matter of fact, I think we do it very well. We're very knowledgeable about what we're doing. You know, if we have to go that route, we have to go that route. You know, but I also see the place finally starting to open up, and I think we could do something nice this year. You know, and if it's a limited audience, we'll have limited audience. But I'm seeing that we are well placed to do our Calypso. We have also spoken to the tent leaders who were very interested in having Calypso and Calypso tents this year. Whether virtual, whether, you know, in person, they are very interested in having Calypso. So basically we are in touch with the tent leaders, and we are trying to get in touch with the powers that be to know where this all stands.
Prosper said with proper planning, he believes St. Lucians could enjoy an altered version of the Carnival Parade and once again enjoy a small portion of normalcy.
I believe that anything can happen in St. Lucia. As long as you put the right measures in place, you could get anything to happen. I mean, I don't see why a carnival can't happen. I mean, if you put the measures in place that limits the gathering to a certain amount, and the carnival band stick to the protocols, I don't see why not.
Under the current COVID-19 prevention and control protocols, social gatherings are restricted to no more than 10 people of immediate family. In public and private settings, individuals are encouraged to limit their contact as much as possible and adhere to all the national protocol as well as mindful to general hygiene procedure. No allowance is given for mass gatherings, social events of any kind, or loud music permits. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.